first thing, number one. Welcome to Cents Sensibility, where we like to talk about money without the stress. My name is Chris, and I'm here with my good friend.
I'm Phil.
In today's episode, we're going to be tackling why most budgets just don't always stick. And spoiler alert, it's not because you or anyone is necessarily bad with money. It's probably because most people, and they do, overcomplicate things or are just setting unrealistic goals, right? So a budget should be two things primarily, and that's simple and flexible. So let's break it down and see how we can make it happen, right? First thing, number one, right? I think overcomplicating your budget is a big killer, right? So this is where people try to track every penny, well, more so every last penny, right? Or create 10 different spending categories on a spreadsheet. And that's just not the way to go about it. It's, overcomplicating it. I tell people all the time, it gets overwhelming fast by doing this, right? So a budget doesn't have to be complex to be effective. And you can do more with less. And actually, the simpler, the better, right? So I like to tell people, start by tracking what's coming in, what's going out, and where you might be able to cut back in the areas that you feel necessary, right?
Yeah, Chris, I totally agree with that. A lot of people don't, but a simple way to start is the 50-30-20 rule, which is 50% of your income goes towards needs, 30% goes towards wants, and 20% goes towards savings or paying off debt. And, this approach covers all your bases without the details of dragging you down.
I completely support that 50-30-20 rule. I use it in my everyday life, and it's honestly so simple to use, and it makes budgeting so much easier. So next, number two, let's talk about, adjusting your budget, right? I think that, as life changes, so should your budget. You get a raise at work, adjust your budget to put a little bit more into savings and not try to live outside your means, right? So, if you take on a new expense like a car payment, let's say, because you did get the raise and now you can afford that car, right? Adjust your budget again, right? So that your budget should essentially look like a living document, something that, essentially is able to be tweaked to match what's happening in your life as life goes on.
Yeah, Chris, I would try starting with one category, let's say like groceries. I'd aim to cut back like $20 a week, cut out the chips, the snacks, the ice cream, and that's also going to help you live a healthier lifestyle as well. And it's something that's achievable, and seeing progress in one area can help you motivate you to tackle others.
Number three, dude, let's address the unrealistic expectations that a lot of people tend to set. And it's the quickest way to fail at budgeting, right? By setting goals that are just way too aggressive, right? Let's say you make $3,000, you're like, I'm gonna save $1,000 a month, but your bills come out to $2,000 a month or something, right? And you want a lot, kind of some things for other, leisure and so on and so forth, right? After bills. So planning to cut spending over, in half overnight is just setting yourself up for failure. And I like to tell people, aim for something small, right? Realistic goals like, hey, I can cut back 5 to 10% of my budget or my spending in one of two different categories each month, whether that's going out, coffee, essentially going out, because at the end of the day, small wins will add up over time and help make it easier to stay consistent, and consistency is key.
Well, I like to help people that are new to budgeting. So if you need a place to start, I would try a budgeting app like Mint or You Need a Budget is good. They're easy to set up and they do a lot of the tracking for you, so you don't need to do it manually.
So go ahead and leave a comment and let me know, how's your budget doing, right? Are you keeping up? Does it fall apart every month? And if you found any tools or tricks that work for you, share them below. And we're all here to learn. So just to recap, all right, keep it simple, adjust as needed, and most importantly, set realistic goals, right? Budgeting isn't about perfection, it's about building healthy money habits. and being consistent so that you can actually stick with it. So try making one small change today and see how it feels. And if you're ready to fix your budget once and for all, hit the subscribe button and check out our next episode where we're going to dive into saving hacks that really work. And as always, keep your cents and sensibilities in check.